What is good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn and I'm here to teach you how to assume the position of who it is that you want to be, because remember, you are the only thinker. You guys, it is 12:12 right now on my clock, early in the morning, but I had some thoughts and I was like, you know what, let me just make a video really quick before I wind down and just kind of get some things off of my chest. But I really wanted to expand on something that I touched on just a little bit in my previous video. I made this statement and I thought it would be a good video for me to expand on a little bit more. And so the statement that I want to talk about today is where I said in my last video, I said that the story needs an observer for it to thrive. And this is so true, but I really want to talk more about being the observer, more about I am. I really want to help you guys understand truly what it means to be I am and get out of the trying phase instead of the trying and the doing and into the being. So I really want to talk about this in a few ways. And so if we could break it down and understand what it means to be the observer, you're always observing something, but this is where we want to talk about where you are either implying separation through your observation, or are you observing, contemplating the I am within you? And so to think about it like this, the person who is being the observer but is the one that is in the trying phase, or the trying to manifest, trying to get something, yes, it is being the observer at the end of it, but the difference is between trying to manifest is in the observation of the outside, or the 3D, looking at it and then engaging your behaviors or deciding your behaviors based on what's happening in the 3D. So yes, it is looking outside of you, wanting something to change, wanting your SP to change, wanting your money situation to change, wanting something to be different outside of you. But whenever you are being met with whatever is going on the outside, then you're deciding your actions based upon the 3D. So if your SP is doing something that you don't like, then you're basing it off of what they do, whatever your next decision is going to be. How are you going to affirm, or are you going to do this? Are you going to do that to get something outside of you to change? Or are you understanding that it's not looking at the 3D and then making your decisions, but looking from within by being the observer? So the person who is always in the trying mode, the 3D is the operant power in their life. And I know that we've all been there, but I really want you guys to see this, that if you're always looking on the outside of you for something to go right, or something for your mood to be better, then it is your 3D that is your operant power. So we do want to switch over into being the observer by being the I am. And what this really means is, when you are being the I am, being the observer, you are never contemplating what's going on the outside to base your decisions off of what you think you should be doing to make the outside change. The observer within I am is only always observing and contemplating its I amness, its limitlessness within. So it's always looking inwardly. What do I say I am? Who do I say I am? Where am I moving from? Do I feel comfortable in here? Do I feel peaceful from within here? It is me affirming to myself over and over again that I am limitless, that I am observing my I amness, that I am only looking to feel and think about the things within me and imagine the things in me that I want to see. So I'm always focused inwardly, or people could say that they think about their imaginations, they're focused on their imagination within, they're focused on their inner conversation within. So it's not that I'm looking to anything outside of me. I know that within me, if I contemplate my limitlessness, then it never matters what's going on outside of me or any story that's made up outside of me. I'm only contemplating who I'm being, because that's what's sending off the magnet for my situation to be what it is, because the 3D is only responding to me. So therefore, I am is the operant power instead of me being led by the 3D. So to make this a little bit more interesting or more simple, I want to talk about it in the way of everyone is you pushed out, because I think that this is a good example. So like I said in my last video or a few videos ago, I said that you are always having your own experience. Your whole life experience is you having the experience with your own personal beliefs, your personal beliefs about I am. But what a lot of people are thinking when they are trying to manifest something or trying to get something, they are thinking that they're only basing the way that they feel about themselves on it's inspired by the 3D or whatever is going on in the 3D. But the person who is the observer focused in on I am is only thinking of I am, okay? Only thinking of their limitlessness, contemplating, you know, what can I create next that's amazing, or who am I being? Of course I'm amazing, of course this, of course that. They're mainly within here, seeing the best things about themselves and responding to this. And every time they respond to this, it sends that magnetic field out, okay? So with everyone is you pushed out, you have to think about it like this, because if people have to show up in a way to make your story thrive, okay? Because it's you that is observing a certain story. Whether you are observing the 3D, you're the one that's trying to get the 3D to change and only focused on making the movements based off of your 3D, then you are, everyone has to show up in the way to keep reflecting that 3D. So your money situation that seems to never get better is because you are focused on something that's happening in the 3D, and then you are deciding your movements or your behaviors off of what the 3D is showing you, instead of focusing on the I am within, knowing that it's I am limitless within no matter what, that the story doesn't matter, that if I dissolved all of the stories off of I am, just like I tell you guys all the time, in order to really get to understand what it means to be the observer is in the dissolving of the stories around I am. And the reason why this is so important is because, like I told you in my last video, you guys, there is no connection from each moment to each moment. There is no connection at all, but the ones that we bring over. And if the 3D is an illusion of our past selves, or the dead past, or something that has already been manifested a long time ago, what sense does it make to keep dragging the 3D into our next moment and our next moment, making it attach that story onto something else? So this is why we get a lot of those linear experiences or situations that go on for long periods of time. But the people who understand I am will understand that there is no need for any story to remain. This is why Neville says, go in the room and shut the door and let your father know in secret, in imagination, in I am, that you shut the door on the past completely. You turn away, you abandon, you die to the old self. We've talked about this before. When you are in I am and you understand your limitlessness, there's no story that has to connect to the next story or whatever you choose to be or do. And the person who understands this never considers their past. That is something that needs to be cleaned up, something that needs to be handle before they can have their manifestation. They don't feel that they have to atone for anything, because at the end of the day, it's all love. It's all a mirror showing you how to get back to yourself, how to understand your limitlessness, that, hey, I just forgot that I was the source. I forgot that I was a source. So if I'm seeing something unfavorable, it's only to wake me up to remember, like, hey, you just forgot for a moment. You are the source. And whether we want to picture it or not like this, but it is love at the end of the day. So that's why there is only love, and that's why you have to understand this, that of course people are going to have to show up. So your SP is going to have to keep showing up in a way of what you truly believe, or where your observation is. If your observation is on the outside and reacting to that, people still have to keep showing up that way for you, your story, for the story that you're observing to thrive. But if you're observing, contemplating your limitless within, every situation, you're going to have miracles, you're going to have instant manifestations, you're going to have a lot of things that just always work out for you, because you're contemplating your existence, your limitlessness within. And that's why people say you only focus on changing yourself or becoming more aware of yourself, because that is true. Your experiences could be limitless. You could be, you know, broke today and tomorrow you win the lottery. Like, it doesn't have one, your past doesn't define or have any link to your good or to what can happen next for you. Any story, as long as you're not attached, because I am is never fully attached to anything, even the good times, even the times where we look back and we're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing when I went through this and went through that and I did this and I did that. I am is never attached to those things, because at the end of the day, there's always more good coming. There's always a new experience. I forgot I was limitless. I can do anything. I can be anything as long as I keep my focus within here. But if I'm looking to something that's already passed outside of me and I keep attaching myself to that, then I'm always looking to the operant power, which is my 3D outside of me and not me. So that's why people always get into these unfavorable positions for long periods of time, because they carry that in from the next moment to the next moment to the next moment, and it always seems like a drag. But when you pull that back inwardly, you guys, I know it sounds like hard, but at the same time it's so simple. Like, the truth is so simple, that within you is always the way. The way is always within you. It's not outside of you. It's just an expression of what's going on within you. So if you can keep contemplating your I amness within and only look at that, only focus on that, only see within yourself what you want to see, then it has to be that the 3D reflects you. Like, it has to be. But if you're looking at the 3D reacting to it, of course it's going to drag you up and down all this stuff that you didn't even need to go through. And that's what it is, you guys. So yes, people have to show up in a way that makes sense for your story to thrive. And that's why we don't take anything personal, because when we don't take it personal, we realize that we're the one that can control this. We're the one that can switch our attention, pay attention to something else, pay attention to ourselves, and get back in alignment, being like, I know I'm it. I know I'm the one. Then everyone is going to be like, yes, you are the one. You are it. All right. So you guys, yes, your story needs the observer to thrive, but are you observing the 3D and making that your operant power? Or are you observing I amness, contemplating your limitless, realizing that when you're moving from there, anything is possible? All right. So you guys, I actually want to leave this video here. Thank you so much for being here. Get down in the comments and let me know how much you liked it. And once again, you guys, imagination is always on your side, and I am too. Bye.